Have you ever been in a season of life where it felt like everything was falling apart? Maybe someone you thought would always be there walked away, or you had to let go of a relationship that once seemed so important. It's painful, isn't it? The emotional turmoil of watching someone exit your life, often without warning, can leave you feeling confused, hurt, and unsure of what's next. But what if I told you that sometimes when people leave your life, it's not because something went wrong, it's actually because God has something better in store for you? I know it's hard to understand at first. When we lose people, especially those we care about deeply, it can feel like a personal rejection. But as believers, we have to trust that God, in His infinite wisdom, is always working behind the scenes for our good. Sometimes He removes people from our lives, not because we're not worthy, but because they're not meant to be a part of the future, Peewit. He's preparing for us. Yes, it can hurt. Yes, it can feel lonely. But God's plan for you is greater than anything you could ever imagine. God doesn't take away without replacing. He doesn't close one door without opening another. He removes people, places, and things to make room for the blessings and people that will truly align with His purpose for your life. So while the pain of loss may seem unbearable, remember this: God's timing is always perfect, and His plan is always for your good. When God removes people from your life, let them go. Trust that He is making space for something greater, something designed specifically for you. The journey may not be easy, but it will always lead you to a better place. Keep the faith and trust that what's meant for you will never pass you by. Part 1: Understanding God's Timing and Sovereignty. I know it's tough to watch people walk away from your life, but here's something important to remember. God's timing is never wrong. In fact, it's perfect. I want you to take a moment to reflect on this truth. God's plan is always better than our own. We may not always understand why certain people are removed from our lives, but we have to trust that God is always working for our good, even when it feels painful. You see, when we experience loss, especially of people we deeply care about, it can feel like the ground is shifting beneath us. The pain of separation can leave us questioning everything. But I want to encourage you today: when God is silent, He's still at work. When He doesn't give you immediate answers, it's because He's doing something in the background that will make sense later. It might be hard to see it in the moment, but know that God is orchestrating everything for your benefit. God isn't just trying to make things work out in your favor in the moment. He's looking at your life as a whole. He's seeing the bigger picture, the picture you may not be able to see just yet. Trust that God knows the path you need to walk, and sometimes that path requires the removal of certain people to make way for something better. He's not taking away from you. He's clearing your path for what's next. I think about Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. This verse isn't just a nice thing to say when we're hurting. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, God is working things together for good. Even when we don't understand, He's working. Trust that He has a plan for you that is far greater than anything you could ever dream of. Part 2: When God Removes People. 5 Key Reasons. Now that we understand that God's timing is perfect, let's dive deeper into the reasons why God may remove people from our lives. These reasons might not always be easy to swallow, but they are crucial to our growth, healing, and spiritual journey. I want you to keep an open heart and mind as we explore this together. First, sometimes God removes people to fulfill His divine plan. God has a purpose for your life, a purpose far bigger than any one person. You might think that certain people are meant to be there forever, but God knows that for you to step into the calling He has for you, certain relationships may need to shift. It can feel like a loss, but remember, God is preparing you for something greater. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper, to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Trust that God is not taking away from you. He's making space for something better to come in. Second, there are people in our lives who may be toxic. I'm sure you've had relationships that left you feeling drained, hurt, or even betrayed. Maybe these people were close to you, but they weren't healthy for your soul. The truth is, God knows the state of everyone's heart. He sees what we can't see. He knows when someone's influence is starting to take us away from Him. Sometimes, God removes these toxic people as an act of love to protect us from spiritual and emotional harm. You may not understand it at the time, but God is safeguarding your heart and your future. The third reason might be that the person is needed elsewhere. This can be particularly difficult to accept, especially if you've had a strong bond with that person. But remember, God has a unique plan for everyone. There may be people who are meant to support, encourage, or help others in ways that we can't fully understand. Sometimes God removes them from our lives because He's using them to fulfill a different purpose in someone else's life. While it hurts, it's important to acknowledge that their journey doesn't end with you. It's simply taking them somewhere else. The fourth reason is that the person may not be right for you, or the timing may not be right. We all have hopes and dreams for our relationships, but God sees things that we can't. There may be times when you think someone is the perfect fit for your life, but God knows that they're not the right person for you, either in the present or in the future. Trust that when God removes someone, He's doing it with your best interests in mind. He may be preparing you for someone better, someone who aligns more closely with His will for your life. God's timing isn't always what we expect, but it's always perfect. And finally, the fifth reason is that God has better things in store for you. Sometimes we hold on to people and relationships because we believe they are the best we can have. We get comfortable and think that this is all God has for us. But that's not true. God has a plan to bless us in ways we can't even imagine. There are people, opportunities, and experiences ahead of you that will blow your mind. But you can't receive them if you're still holding on to what God is trying to remove. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 9 reminds us that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love Him. Trust that God is making room for something even better. Letting go can be painful, but it's a vital part of trusting God's process. When God removes people, don't chase after them. Instead, trust that He's making space for something greater in your life. Even when you don't understand the why or the how, remember that God's plan is always for your good. Keep your eyes on Him, and He will lead you to the people and opportunities that are meant to bless you. Part 3, the pain of letting go. I know how hard it is to let go of people you thought would always be there. It's never easy, whether it's a close friend, a family member, or someone you've shared your heart with. Watching them leave can create a deep ache in your soul. It might feel like the world is shifting and you're being left behind. The truth is, this pain is real, and it's okay to acknowledge it. You don't have to suppress your emotions or pretend that everything is fine. Letting go can be one of the most painful experiences of your life, but it doesn't have to define you. In those moments of hurt, remember this: God sees your pain. He understands what you're going through, and He's right there with you, even in the silence. When we face loss, especially of people we care about, it's natural to question why it's happening. Why did they have to leave? Why does it feel like everything is falling apart? But in those moments, God is closer than ever, waiting to comfort you, to remind you that He's in control and that He has a better plan for you. There's a beauty that comes from letting go, even though it's hard to see it at first. God uses these moments of hurt to refine us, to shape our hearts, and to teach us to depend more fully on Him. It's in the moments of loss that we often grow the most. God isn't punishing you by removing someone from your life. He's preparing you for the next season. He's shaping your character, teaching you lessons about patience, trust, and the importance of holding tightly to Him, rather than to people who aren't meant to stay forever. The healing process takes time. It won't happen overnight, and that's okay. But I want you to remember this: God is faithful to heal your brokenness. As you walk through the process of letting go, lean into Him. Allow Him to fill the empty spaces left by those who have walked away. Trust that He's going to bring restoration into your life. The same God who was with you during the joyful moments will be with you in your grief. You're not alone in this. Part 4, why we should not chase after departing people. It's tempting, isn't it? When someone leaves your life, there's this urge to chase after them, to try and pull them back. Whether it's sending a message, making a call, or begging for things to return to how they were, we sometimes find ourselves fighting to keep people who aren't supposed to stay. But here's the thing. When God removes someone from your life, it's not for you to chase them down and drag them back into your story. You have to trust that God is doing something good by allowing that person to leave. Chasing after people can often lead to more heartache. It can cause you to lose sight of the beautiful things God is preparing for you. When you try to hold on to someone who God has chosen to remove, you are in a way rejecting the blessings that are waiting for you on the other side of that letting go. It can be hard to accept, but if someone is meant to leave, let them go. Their role in your life may have been fulfilled, and God has something else for you. Something better, something more aligned with His purpose. You don't have to fight for someone's presence if God is removing them. Instead, trust that God knows what's best for you. Trust that He's not taking someone from you because you're not enough or because you don't deserve them. The reality is that God's plan is much bigger than any relationship you're holding on to. He sees the bigger picture, and He knows exactly who belongs in your life and who doesn't. Holding on to the wrong people can sometimes delay your growth and cause you to miss out on the beautiful future God has for you. If you've ever felt like you're losing your grip on someone, take a moment to breathe. You don't have to chase them down or try to fix what God is breaking apart. Instead, trust Him to heal your heart and bring you the people who are meant to walk with you into the future He has for you. This is not about rejection, it's about God's redirection. It's about trusting that His way is always better. Letting go of people who are not meant to stay is an act of faith. It's a declaration that you believe God's plan is bigger than your desires. It's about recognizing that when someone exits your life, it's because God has something better waiting for you. You don't need to chase after what's been taken away because God has your future in His hands. His plans are perfect, and when the time is right, He will bring the right people into your life. When people leave, don't fight it. Don't beg them to stay. Instead, let them go with grace. God is opening doors to new opportunities, relationships, and blessings that you can't see yet. Trust that God's plan is always for your good, even when it's difficult to understand. As you release people and surrender your fears of abandonment, you open your heart to what God is preparing for you. Trust Him to bring you the right people at the right time and rest in the peace that only He can provide. Part 5, the beauty of new beginnings. I want to encourage you today. While letting go can be painful, it also makes way for something beautiful to enter your life. Every time God removes something or someone from your life, He's not just taking away, He's preparing you for something better. I know it's hard to see it that way when you're in the middle of the loss, but there is beauty on the other side. When God closes one door, He's opening another, and sometimes those doors lead to the most unexpected and incredible blessings. I've seen it time and time again. When people let go of relationships that weren't meant to last, God fills those spaces with new connections, opportunities, and experiences that surpass anything they could have imagined. You might not understand why someone had to leave or why a season of your life had to end, but trust that God's plan is always greater. The things He has in store for you are far beyond what you've known up until now. God's promises are true. I know the plans I have for you, He says in Jeremiah 29:11, plans to give you a hope and a future. It's so easy to get caught up in the pain of loss, but I want you to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Each time you let go, God is making space for new people who will support you, encourage you, and walk with you into the next chapter of your journey. New beginnings might come in the form of new friendships, new opportunities, or new growth that you never expected. But it all starts with trusting that God's got something good for you just around the corner. Don't be afraid of new beginnings. Embrace them. Step into them with faith, even if it feels scary or uncertain. You might not know what's ahead, but God does. And He's leading you to a place where you'll experience more joy, peace, and fulfillment than you ever thought possible. Letting go might feel like losing something, but remember, God is always leading you to something better. Part 6, trusting the process of transformation. Here's the thing. Trusting the process isn't always easy. It requires faith. It requires patience. But most importantly, it requires surrender. You see, when God removes people from your life, He's not just changing your circumstances, He's changing you. Every time someone exits, every time a door closes, God is shaping you into the person He created you to be. It's not just about the people who come and go, it's about who you are becoming in the process. I know it's hard to understand why things happen the way they do, but what you have to remember is that transformation often happens in the midst of discomfort. You're not the same person you were yesterday because of the things you've experienced, the lessons you've learned, the relationships you've had, and yes, even the people you've had to let go. God is using everything to shape you into the person He's calling you to be. Think of a tree. When a tree is pruned, it can look bare and lifeless for a while. But the pruning is necessary for the tree to grow stronger, healthier, and more fruitful. In the same way, God sometimes has to remove things or people from our lives to help us grow in ways we couldn't have otherwise. The pain of letting go might feel like a season of barren branches, but trust that growth is on the horizon. You may not see it now, but each time you let go of something, you're making room for greater growth, more spiritual depth, and a closer relationship with God. He's transforming you into a person who can handle the blessings He wants to bring into your life. God is preparing you for greater things, and you have to trust the process, even when it doesn't make sense. I know it might feel hard to trust when you're in the middle of the process, but remember that God sees the beginning, the middle, and the end. He knows exactly what's needed to mold you into the person you're meant to become. You're not just waiting for the next season of life, you're being transformed in the waiting. Let God do the work in you. Surrender to His process, even when it's uncomfortable, and trust that the end result will be something far more beautiful than you can imagine. So, as you move forward, hold on to this truth. The transformation that God is doing in your life is more important than the people He removes from it. The people who are meant to stay will remain. Those who are meant to leave have served their purpose and will make space for the growth that God is doing in you. Don't rush the process. Trust it. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. And that person is about to experience blessings and opportunities that are more amazing than anything you've known before. Let go, trust, and let God work His transforming power in your life. The best is yet to come. Part 7, understanding the different roles people play in our lives. Have you ever been confused about why some people come into your life only to leave unexpectedly? Or why someone you thought would always be there eventually drifts away? It's easy to become attached to the idea that certain people are meant to stay in our lives forever. But here's something important to realize. Not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay forever. Some are there for a reason, some for a season, and only a few for a lifetime. It's so crucial to understand the different roles people play in your life. Some people are sent to you by God for specific purposes, to teach you, help you, or walk alongside you for a short time. They may have been a source of encouragement, strength, or guidance for a particular season, but their role was never meant to be permanent. When that season ends and they move on, it's a reminder that their part in your journey is complete. Then, there are people meant for a lifetime. These are the friends, the family, the partners who will be there through thick and thin. But even with these relationships, there are still moments when they may change or evolve, and you may feel a sense of distance or loss. It doesn't mean you failed or that they no longer care. It just means life is moving forward. And sometimes, even those who are closest to us are part of the shifting seasons of our lives. When someone leaves your life, it doesn't always mean you've lost something. It might just mean that God is preparing you for the next phase of your journey. Recognizing the role people play in your life and accepting that some are only meant for a season helps you move forward with peace. You don't need to chase after people who are meant to leave. Instead, trust God's plan and the space He's creating for the new relationships and opportunities He has in store for you. Part 8, Conclusion. Embracing the peace of letting go. Letting go is never easy, especially when it feels like you're losing something or someone precious. But remember, when God removes someone or something from your life, it's never just about loss. It's about growth. It's about God making room for something better, something that aligns with His perfect plan for your life. Even in moments of pain, God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything for your good. You might not understand why things are happening the way they are right now, but I want to encourage you to trust God's process. Trust that He knows exactly what you need and when you need it. When people leave or relationships change, know that it's part of His greater plan to shape you, refine you, and prepare you for the amazing future He has in store for you. So let go with peace. Don't fight against what God is doing. Release the people, the things, and the situations that no longer serve you or align with His purpose. Trust that He is making space for what's next, better relationships, new opportunities, and a deeper intimacy with Him. The pain of letting go is temporary, but the joy of what's to come will far outweigh it. Remember, everything happens for a reason, and God is always working on your behalf. Keep your eyes on Him, trust His timing, and know that He's always leading you to something greater. If this message has touched your heart and you want to keep growing in your faith, be sure to subscribe to the Endless Love of God YouTube channel. There's so much more to discover about God's endless love, His plans for your life, and how to trust Him through every season. Don't miss out. Subscribe today, and let's walk this journey of faith together. God bless you.